Hello and welcome. Understanding the cost of energy and managing the access to it can be one of the most complex businesses going ahead, particularly for you, the consumer. But being empowered for this is also equally important. Let's understand how this can change in coming years. I'm joined by Ian Peters, Managing Director of the British Gas Residential Energy Business, here with me. Ian, thank you very much for speaking with us. So tell us, what's changing? I mean, we all know that there are a lot of devices that are coming into the whole energy ecosystem at the residential level, at the consumer level, which is allowing people to understand how their energy is being consumed and potentially how they could do, manage their whole environment better, right? And we hear about Google getting in and so on. So exciting stuff is happening. But tell us what's happening right now on ground, which perhaps is, people should understand better in order to go forward.
Yeah. There is an enormous amount happening. I mean, top of that list would be the digital transformation. It was only 3 or 4 years ago that our customers phoned us up as the default. Now it's all about digital. 68% of all of our transactions last year were on our digital platform. And even more remarkably, 40% of those started off a smartphone. 2 years ago, that 40% was 20. 3 years ago, it was 5. There's been an explosion in digital contact. It's great. It gives customers choice. It gives them more control.
So when you say transactions, what exactly do
So they could be everything from providing a meter read, paying a bill, making a payment, telling us they're moving house. All kinds of transactions are now done through our digital platform. Right. It's been a revolution.
Right. So what's it, the digitization could help both people. It could help you as the enterprise and it could help the consumer as well.
Sure.
So tell us about both.
Sure. I mean, it clearly saves us cost. It's much cheaper, much more efficient to do things digitally. But it is about customer choice. We haven't closed down our call centres. We still take 18 million phone calls a year. But we have seen this explosion in digital interaction because customers want that control.
Right.
But it goes way beyond that. We're now rolling out smart meters in the UK. The old model was to have somebody come round to your house, knock on your door, read your meter and send us what the number was. Now we have smart meters. We've rolled out 800,000 of them. 80% of the UK is ours. And that's a revolution. It lets us know what the consumption is in that house every half an hour. We can synthesize that data, give it back to the customers, tell them what their consumption pattern is, because the cost of electricity changes at different times of the day.
Right.
And we can say, if you change your consumption from that to that, it'll save you money. That's informed choice.
Right. So give us some more instances of how this whole data and I guess leading to big data is helping you understand and empower your consumer better.
So another example would be because we have about a third of the UK market, we have insight into how 7 million homes use their energy. We can make that information available to our consumers. So you can go onto our website, you know how much energy you've consumed, and you can type in for example, tell me all the other properties that look like mine, and you'll get a chart showing how much energy you've consumed versus all of those. That tells you whether you're good and bad. 1 million customers a year use that. And we give them tips and hints. That's data in action. That would be one example of it. The other, I say, is what I've just described, the thing called a smart energy report. If you have a smart meter, every month will give you some analysis of what you've used, when you've used it, and how much you could save if you change that pattern. The data processing behind that is phenomenal.
Right. So, and as we hear about, Google and, all the big sort of software companies coming into this space, trying to understand through sensors, what's the next horizon or what's the future horizon?
Well, the good thing is we're ahead of them.
Yeah.
So we've launched something called Hive, as in beehive, Hive Active Heating. This allows a UK consumer to change the temperature of their home remotely from their smartphone, to turn their hot water on and off. Again, it's a great example of control. We're out in the market with that. We launched it several months ago, and it's going like a train in terms of customer appeal. It's back to informed choice and control. We're out there already.
Right. So what are the other things that are happening on the enterprise level? I mean, when it comes to, let's say, buying energy and buying or power transmission and so on, and then, of course, sending it all to the consumer.
Sure. I mean, the big shift, I started in the energy industry in 2005, and in the UK market in 2005, we were largely supplying ourselves from our own gas fields. We're now a big importer of gas, and the gas market's gone global. Liquid natural gas has revolutionised the way that's done. We've got major deals with the Qataris. We've got fields in Norway. So it's a global market we're now part of. And after Fukushima, that changed again as the growth economies switched away from nuclear and away from coal. So it's a very, very different market requiring very sophisticated trading.
Right. So what's the future looking like? I mean, do you see, for instance, in UK, and surely this is the case in Europe as well, I mean, people opting for more hybrid forms of energy consumption in their own homes?
We will, but I wouldn't describe it as a revolution. 4 or 5 years ago, before the economy crashed, there was quite an interest in green energy.
As it always happens.
Yeah, in terms of saving the environment. I mean, a wholly laudable approach. Post the economic crash, the driver now is getting bills down and consuming less energy. That green dimension is still there, but the principal driver now is about having your energy company help you use less. It's not through hybrid models. It's about information. It's about control.
Right. So, I mean, one of the things that has been talked about in the past is how do these networks all work together, right? So, I don't know if you have your own proprietary network, but does this sort of work with the telecom company, work with another network, and is there some sort of unified control panel that the consumer could look at?
No, is the short answer to that question. Now, we clearly collaborate with telecoms companies particularly. So some of the applications I've talked about are done in partnership with the telecoms companies, but there is no kind of master panel where you can see it all linking together. No.
Okay. So what's next on your plate? I mean, you talked about what has been done. You talked about the Hive, which sounds very interesting. Is there something that you're working on which would make life for your consumers more interesting?
Well, I think the next evolution of that, I say, is a combination of using data from all sorts of different channels in real time and packaging the whole range of our products together in an easy-to-use way from our customers. And that may be elements of energy, it may be that Hive product, it may be the insurance products we've got to do with your house. I think packaging them together in an easy-to-use way with that data will be the next evolution.
And you use the word real time. Is that something that's really exciting your consumers as well? The ability to know and therefore react and control their environment?
Particularly in the digital age, I think it's becoming more important. Whether it's in a purest sense, real time, or nearly real time, I don't think makes a lot of difference to the consumer. It makes a huge difference to the cost. So I think there's a slight difference there. But immediacy is clearly an important part.
Right. And what's the flip side of all this? All this sounded very exciting, but there must be something which perhaps gives you worry.
What gives me worry? Yeah, I mean, there are lots of challenges in the industry. I mean, we're in a very competitive market. I've got 20 competitors, which is probably more than just about every energy market that I know in the world. That keeps us on our toes. That's clearly a worry. There's a big issue around affordability in the UK. The price of energy is a major public issue. So dealing responsibly with that is one of the most important things about our role, and we take great care and pride in serving our communities.
Ian Peters, thank you very much for speaking with us.
Thank you.